My wife wanted me to stop drinking so much Prime because she thinks I'm hooked on it. But instead of getting rid of it, I filled a small pool with Prime. That way, I could pretend I was swimming while secretly drinking Prime. When Destiny came out and asked what I was doing, I said I was swimming. She asked why I wasn't using our regular pool, and I told her the small pool was for our baby daughter. She thought that was a good idea and went to get our daughter so she could swim too. I didn't want my daughter in the Prime pool because she might have an accident in it. So I quickly poured the Prime back into the bottles and looked for a new hiding spot. I went to Home Depot, bought a water fountain, and filled it with Prime. But then Destiny used it and noticed it tasted like Prime. Comment below if you think I should have hidden it somewhere else. So I was about to drink some Prime when my wife told me she didn't want me drinking it anymore because she thinks I'm addicted. She made me grab a trash bag and throw away my entire Prime collection. As I was about to dump the bag filled with Prime into the trash bin, I realized I couldn't live without it. So I had to figure out a way to hide the Prime without her knowing. First, I tried putting all the Prime in the top cabinet, but if she opened it, she would see them. Then I thought about hiding them in my trunk, but I didn't want them to spoil from the heat. I had to come up with a way to hide the Prime in plain sight. So I decided to buy a mini pool and pour all of my Prime into it so I could act like I was just swimming, but really I'd be drinking Prime. Destiny came outside and asked me what I was doing, and I told her I was just swimming. But then she asked me why I didn't just use our regular pool. Comment below on what you think I should tell her. So my wife found me swimming in a pool filled with Prime drinks and said I had to get rid of it. But I love Prime too much, so I decided to make a secret Prime sprinkler. I took all my Prime and poured it into a big water jug. Then I carefully carried the jug to the side of my house without spilling it. I put one end of my water hose into the jug and connected the other end to the sprinkler system. Now it was time to test it out. You have to like this video if it worked. I flipped the switch and Prime started spraying out of the sprinklers. I spent the whole day drinking from each sprinkler until Destiny asked what I was doing. But then she smelled the Prime all over the yard. Comment below where I should hide my Prime next. I noticed I was gaining weight from eating all sorts of weird snacks, so I decided to not eat anything for 24 hours. At first, it was easy because I wasn't hungry, but while watching TV, I kept seeing food commercials, and my stomach started growling. To distract myself, I went for a walk in the park, but the smell from a hot dog truck made my stomach growl even more. So I decided to go to the store to buy a face mask to block the smells. On the way, I saw fast food restaurants everywhere. I turned on my Tesla's autopilot and closed my eyes so I couldn't see them. When I got to the store, the first thing I saw was my favorite snacks. My stomach was pounding, like how you should pound the subscribe button. The store was out of face masks and I smelled my favorite snack. I looked on the ground and saw an open bag of Twizzlers and couldn't resist. Comment below and tell me your favorite snack. So I woke up to a picture message from Braen that showed him finding my house key on the ground. I know Braen enough to know that he was going to pop up in my house at any moment to beat me up after he got off from work. So I had no choice but to build a secret room for me to hide in when he came in. First, I had to find the perfect space to build it. I was thinking to build it in the fridge, but Braen loves to raid people's fridges. I thought about putting it under my stairs, but there were too many spiders. I also thought about building it in my pool, but it was going to take too long. So I decided to cut a hole through the floor under the couch that led to a dark room. I added some lights, a TV, and a vending machine with all of my favorite snacks. Right when I completed my secret room, I heard Braen storm into my house.
Desmond, I found your house key outside. If you want it, come and take it from me.
I didn't say a word because I didn't want Braen to find my secret room. Luckily, I had cameras so I could see his every move.
I know you're in here. I saw your car outside.
I figured if I stayed quiet, he would eventually go home.
I'm not going anywhere until I find you. The longer it takes, the worse you're gonna get it.
I watched the screen as he searched my whole house. First, he checked in my son's room, then he checked my studio. He even checked in the baby's nursery. After not finding me, he started to become very impatient.
If you don't come out right now, little boy, I'm going to give it to you worse than I did in middle school.
Although I was afraid, I knew there was no chance he could find me until he sat down on the couch right over top of me. He started digging for the remote and found my secret room.
Well, look who we have here.
Like this video if you think I should create another secret room. So I was about to eat my onion and honey snack when I saw a big storm cloud forming outside. Then I had a vision of a tornado coming and destroying the city. I didn't want my family to get caught in a tornado, so I decided to build an underground bunker. First, I had to dig a big hole in the ground. Then I needed to find something to use as a bunker. While driving, I saw a shipping container for sale. I bought it and put it inside the hole I dug earlier. Then my wife called me and asked what I spent $5,000 on. I told her about the bunker, and she called me crazy. But I still went to the store and bought water and canned food. Then went back to the bunker to set up everything. Suddenly, I heard loud sirens going off. The storm was starting, and I took cover. But then I realized my wife and kids were still out there. Comment below if you think I should stay in my bunker or try to save them. This morning, I went to the kitchen to make my favorite pork and waffle breakfast sandwich, but I realized I was out of waffles. I tried to order some using DoorDash, but my order got canceled. Thinking it was a DoorDash problem, I tried Uber Eats next, but that order was canceled too. Frustrated, I decided to drive to the store myself. On the way, I heard on the radio that someone had hacked all the computers in the country, making it impossible for anyone to buy anything from any store. I couldn't start my day without my breakfast sandwich, so I decided to try and fix all the computers in the country. I coded a special software and installed an antenna on top of my house to send out an update that would fix every computer. Luckily, my software worked and I was able to order my waffles. But just when my waffles were delivered, the police showed up at my house. They thought I was the one who caused the cyber attack. Please subscribe to help me not go to jail. So I was just eating my avocado and peanut butter snack while looking at all of my YouTube awards. Then I heard the doorbell ring, and when I opened up the door, there was a new YouTube award. I didn't know where it came from, but I decided to open it up and add it to my awards wall. But when I walked over to the wall, all of my other awards were gone. Someone must have sent me the new award to distract me so they can steal my others. So I had no choice but to start an investigation. First, I checked my indoor cameras, but they were unplugged. So I got my magnifying glass to look for fingerprints, but there weren't any. So I decided to check for footprints, and I seen tiny ones that led to my bathroom. I got myself prepared because the theft was clearly in my bathroom. I quietly counted to 3 and rushed in only to find my dog Snoop cleaning my awards. Comment below if you thought someone stole them. So I was ready to eat my prime drink and cookies while watching Netflix on my laptop, but then I saw that my laptop screen was cracked. I didn't want to eat my snacks without watching my favorite show, so I decided to get my laptop screen fixed. I jumped into my Tesla and drove to the Apple store, but they told me they couldn't fix my laptop unless I had Apple Care. I rushed out to find Apple Care, but I didn't know where or what it was. So I went to the grocery store, bought an apple, and took care of it. Then I had a photo shoot with the apple to show proof of my Apple Care. Once I was done, I went back to the Apple store and showed them a picture of me taking care of the apple. They laughed and explained that Apple Care is a service I have to pay for so they can fix my laptop. I felt so embarrassed that I just left the store. Comment below if you've ever had a cracked device screen. My doctor told me that I couldn't eat any more cookies because it was bad for my health. So my wife made me throw away all my cookies and warned me that if she caught me eating another one, I'd regret it. I didn't want to find out what she meant by that, so I had to eat cookies in secret. First, I tried eating cookies inside the store before buying them, but I didn't want people thinking I was stealing. So I took the cookies home and tried eating them in the bathroom, but I couldn't eat them while staring at a toilet. Then I took them to the roof, but I got worried that one of my wife's friends would see me and tell her. So I had no choice but to drive really far and eat them outside my car. While I was eating the cookies, I got a text message from Destiny, and it was a video of me eating the cookies. I forgot my Tesla had cameras, and now she knows. Comment below what you think she's going to do to me. So my friends texted me the address of a park where they were playing basketball and invited me to join them. Even though the GPS said the park was an hour away, I didn't let that stop me. I jumped in my Tesla and drove all the way there. But when I arrived, I didn't see any of my friends' cars. Actually, there were no cars at all. I thought maybe they took an Uber, so I walked into the park and followed the trail. It was taking me a long time to get to the basketball courts, and then I realized I was walking in a huge circle. I thought my friends were probably hiding in the trees playing a prank on me. I laughed and told them to come out, but nobody did. I finally realized they had tricked me, so I decided to go home. But my Tesla wouldn't unlock because my phone died, so I had no choice but to walk home, which took me all day. When I got home and my phone turned back on, I realized I had gone to the wrong park. Comment below about a time you thought your friends were pranking you. Braen and his twin brother Ethan are roommates, and they keep their house messy. But they just found out their dad is visiting, and he doesn't like a filthy house.
Ethan, stop playing the game and help me.
Yeah, in a second.
You said that 2 hours ago. If Dad sees this mess, he's gonna make us really clean up.
Yeah, maybe you, because you're still a little boy. But I'm a grown man now, and no one's gonna make me do anything in my house, not even Dad.
Well, we're about to find out because Dad just got here.
Braen and Ethan's dad walked in, took a look around, and wasn't happy about it.
Your house is filthy. I didn't raise no pigs. I want y'all to clean this mess up now. Ethan, go ahead and tell Dad what you said.
I don't know what you're talking about, Braen.
Oh, well, let me remind you.
No one's gonna make me do anything in my house, not even Dad.
Oh, really?
No, that's not me. I don't know who that is.
If that's not you, then get on this floor and clean it.
Sir, yes, sir.
Who's the little boy now? Little boy.
Shut up.
I was trying to juggle watermelons when I suddenly saw Kaden drawing on my glass doors. I asked him why he was drawing there, and he said it was because he didn't have a canvas. I didn't want to stop him from being creative, so I decided to find him his own canvas. So I went to Target and bought a poster board. When I got home, I gave it to him, but then he said he needed an easel. So I went to Home Depot to get some wood to build one. I had to drill into the wood, use some screws, and even cut some pieces to build it. After it was done, Kaden said he needed tape and crayons. So I went back to the store to buy what he asked for and attached the crayons to the poster board. Then Kaden asked for a hairdryer. I got him one, and he started blowing the crayons. At first, I didn't understand what he was doing, but then the crayons started melting, creating a beautiful piece of art. Comment below about a time you drew something awesome. So I took my son Kaden to the arcade, and he wasn't having the best luck with the games. It seemed like every time he chose a game to play, it wouldn't work right. He tried to be a good sport and continue to play, but the more he played, the more frustrated he got. After one more game didn't work, he told me he wanted to leave, but I told him no because we just got there. Then we seen a secret back room, and when we walked back there were 1,000 more games to play. They had Super Mario Brothers and, well, a lot of other games I've never played, but it was still awesome. Then Kaden started playing the pinball machine, and it actually worked. He stayed on the same machine for hours, but when he was about to beat the high score, the game glitched, and he had to start over. Comment below a time you had to start over in a game. So I was eating my peanut butter and chicken lunch when I saw my son playing with Braen. I didn't want my son hanging out with the guy who bullied me in middle school, so I went out there to stop it.
Braen, what you doing with my son? I miss my brother Lathan, and he reminds me of him.
Kaden, go inside.
Kaden isn't going anywhere, right, Kaden?
Kaden and I were both scared of Braen, so we had no choice but to do what he said. First, he wanted to play volleyball in the blazing heat. Then he wanted to work out in the heat. After he got hot, he wanted to go swimming in my pool. Then he wanted to get ice cream, but took mine after he already ate his. Just when I thought the day was over, he wanted to go on the biggest Ferris wheel in town. Kaden and I are afraid of heights, so we snuck away when he wasn't looking.
I know where y'all live. Wait until the next time I see y'all.
Comment below what you think we should have done. So I was about to clean my ceilings when I suddenly heard Braen, my middle school bully, say,
"Yeah, you better clean up, little boy."
At first, I thought he was in my house, but then I realized his voice was coming from my Alexa.
What's up, egghead?
Braen, what are you doing on my Alexa?
I hacked into it. Now I can check up on you anytime I want to, and there's nothing you can do about it, little boy.
I didn't want Braen spying on me, so I tried to get him off the screen, but it didn't work. I went to my garage and unplugged my router, but he was still on the screen. Then I remembered I could just unplug the screen, and he was finally gone. Later that evening, I went to take a nap, and he popped up on the Alexa in my bedroom.
Oh, look at the little egghead trying to take a nap.
I was about to lose my mind until I saw a cable going from my house to over the fence. I cut it, and he was finally gone. Comment below a time someone hacked any of your accounts. So I went to my storage unit to check on my butterflies, but I realized I didn't have the key. I rushed back to my car to get it from its usual spot, but it wasn't there. I went home and searched the whole house, but I couldn't find the key anywhere. I didn't want my butterflies to starve, so I had no choice but to break into my storage unit. First, I tried pulling on the door really hard, but my hand slipped and I fell down, hitting my head. Then I remembered I had cutters in my trunk. I grabbed them and tried to cut the lock, but there was nowhere to cut properly. So I had to go to Home Depot to buy a grinder to saw through the lock. I put on my safety goggles and sawed right through it. Finally, I got into my storage unit to check on my butterflies, but somehow they had turned back into caterpillars. Comment below a time you got locked out of something. I woke up yelling because I had the worst sore throat I've ever had. I had a super important speech to give that evening, so I had to find a way to get rid of the soreness fast. First, I hurried to the store to buy some cough drops, but they were all sold out. Then I tried mixing a bunch of spices in water to try to make the soreness go away, but it didn't work. Next, I even tried intimidating my sore throat to scare it off, but that didn't help either. So I looked online and someone suggested mixing salt and water together. I grabbed some salt, put it in water, and drank it. It was the most awful taste ever, and my throat still hurt. Then I realized I was supposed to gargle with the salt water, not drink it. I followed the instructions, and my throat felt much better. That night when I got on stage to give my speech, I opened my mouth to speak, but my voice was completely gone. Share a time when you had a sore throat in the comments below.